Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Marcel, and if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Before I begin today's video, please do not forget to subscribe on your way out. Subscribe, like and share. Today I have a business review. That is how I'm going to call it, because it is my review. It is my ultimate honest review. So guys, when I started doing these videos, I said that I wanted to be honest. I wanted to share my mistakes. I wanted to share my success as well, so things that I've done that are right, because I imagine that, you know, if you're opening your own, if you want to do your own stuff, or if you're already doing your own stuff, you do not want to make these mistakes that I have made. So I'm just going to call this video a business review, because please, this is what it is. It is a business review. I'm not here to bash anyone's business. This is my opinion and my review. So yes, so today I want to talk about Boss Palace. You've all seen it, like we've all seen it around, you know, we've all seen it, like Alexis Kai, Tommy, Ari, Light Skin Keisha, so many other influencers, so many other popular influencers. And what is really upsetting to me is that we get influenced by these people. They get paid to promote something, and we literally take their word for it, and we spend all this money. Anyway, this is, I'm actually going ahead of myself here. Let me just come back. So basically, how I started my business, I was furloughed when, you know, when COVID-19 started, and it was a really bad time in the world. You know, people were losing their jobs, but I was actually lucky to be furloughed. When I got furloughed, I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I've always wanted to own an online boutique. I've spoken about this in my first video. I don't want to seem like I'm repeating myself, but I just feel I need to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So I decided, I decided that I was finally going to open my own online store, online boutique. And I was looking for vendors, you know, like I just jumped straight into it. Like I took a massive risk, and I did not really know much about vendors and where to find vendors. And what I know now, I just think back to myself that, what the hell was I doing? So basically, I was just scrolling down on Instagram one glory morning, and I came across Boss Palace. When I bought the vendors list from them, it was in March. They were not as popular as they are now. They had about just under 100k followers, but right now they've got about 500k. Obviously they've used a lot of massive influencers, so that has also helped with their popularity and exposure. So I was like, oh, checking them out. You know, they had cute pictures, they had cute videos, enticing videos, you know, about, you know, if you want to start your own business and you don't know where to buy stuff, they sell vendors list, you know. So I was intrigued. And as much as I kept seeing the reviews, and they posted, at the time they were not even working with influencers yet. They were like posting reviews. I don't know if these reviews were actually true or not, where, you know, you will have a video of a girl, she sat with loads of orders on the floor, and they basically make it seem like she bought the vendors list, that's why she's successful. But anyway, I decided to take a leap of faith. I just decided to take the risk, because I'm a risky person. I like taking risks. So basically, I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of money. So I went on that website and finally made a purchase. So I was looking through the vendors list. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the big one, okay, because I wanted to have a variety, so I'm gonna get the biggest list. So I purchased the ultimate vendors list, and on there they say that they've got over 300 vendors, and I don't know if that's true. They've got over 300 vendors, and yes, I don't think that's true, first of all. And they've got loads of vendors on that list, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is, one of the vendors is also another vendor that is got many other vendors. So that to them, that's like that 300 that they're like grouping together. but that is one vendor that is got many other vendors. Anyway, so I purchased it. It was 99. It was $99 So I bought the lace. Immediately I received an email from them saying, this is your, thank you for your purchase, thank you for your order, this is your order, I set your order. So you just click on the link that they sent to you, then it takes you immediately to the whole list, the whole vendors list. Okay, so I was looking through the list. I was looking through the names. First of all, I realized that the clothings on there are clothings that you see everywhere. You can literally find these vendors yourself and you wouldn't have to pay for it. And most of these vendors are on Google. Most of these vendors are on Alibaba. Anyway, so I was going through the vendors list. I was excited when I opened it and I saw so many vendors. This is my honest review about this vendors list. One, when I opened the vendors, especially the ones on Alibaba, they had really bad reviews. Trust me, guys, I would never purchase an item to sell to my customers if the vendor has got really bad reviews. So I'm looking for 4.7 upwards reviews. Some of the vendors on that vendors list have got 3.5 star reviews. That tells you that they're bad vendors, okay? So, you know, I was already like, okay, when, you know, you've got the name of the vendor, I always check with them. I always check what sort of vendors they are, what they do before I even decide to buy anything. So I was really surprised that most of the vendors there that are from Alibaba, they have poor reviews, they have bad quality. And I was reading the reviews are like bad quality stuff. I'm not gonna lie, that list has got some really good vendors, but trust me, this is my honest opinion. That list has got some really good vendors, but those vendors, you can still find them yourself. You can find them on Google. I don't know if I'm allowed to actually say who the vendors are on that list. Where when I'm talking about everywhere, they are everywhere. Girls have even spoken about those same vendors on that list on YouTube here. So if you look for vendors, the YouTube, you know, the vendors that YouTubers are talking about here, they are on that list. So I just feel like, will anyone just sit up and create a list of vendors that they've come across in their life and just call it the ultimate vendors list, or the, you know, the money-making vendors list? And also, guys, one other thing that I was thinking about is how many times do they review, how many times do they change that list? The same list that I bought in March, is that the same list that people still buy now? Is that the same list that people buy next year? I'm just, you know, asking myself these questions. Obviously, I don't know if they are changing it, but if they're not changing it, it is really bad, because you want to open your own stuff and you invest a lot of money and then end up buying the same stuff as people. The way I look at buying a vendor's list in general is, I've spoken about this before, is when you go to a party and you see a girl with the same outfit that you've got on, you're like, you're just turned off. Like, you don't even want to stay there. You don't even want her to see you. You don't even want people to see that you've got the same outfit as her. So the same applies to a vendor's list. If you're buying a vendor's list that is popular, that is gone around everywhere and everyone is buying, obviously you're going to end up buying from the same vendors, and your customers, you're just creating a lot of competition for yourself, because you have so many other business owners out there who are selling the same stuff. Like, I just think if you want to be unique, a vendors list is not the solution. Like, you can literally find vendors. You have to identify what you want to sell and look for vendors. When B. Simone said that, when she spoke about the 9 to 5, and many people took offense to it, when she spoke about being up at 3 a.m. in the morning, sending emails and stuff, I do understand her, because, only to find a good vendor, you have to search, you have to put a lot of hard work, but trust me, that will pay off. And wouldn't you just be so happy to find a vendor yourself with your research, and then you purchase from them and the items come and you're like, ooh, the items are banging? You just give yourself a pat on the back, like, you did it, girl. Like, you work hard, you find that vendor, and that's how you build a relationship with your vendor without necessarily, you know, purchasing somebody else's lease, basically. And that's my thing. I'm not saying that the vendors list or Bus Palace is bad, or, you know, I'm saying that they've got vendors. That's true. But some of the vendors, especially the Alibaba ones, are vendors that are not good. Basically, to me, those vendors are outdated. They sell things like the sparkly shirt. Like, who still wears that nowadays? Like, and also, when I bought the vendors list, in my mind, I was thinking, anyway, that's what I was told. Like, that's what was on the description. You're gonna get lashes, hair, clothing, shoes, bags, and all of that. Bear in mind, I wasn't looking to sell lashes or hair, but I was like, you know what, it is fine, you know. But then you have electronic vendors on there. You've got iPods vendors on there, and some of the vendors don't even have websites. Some of the vendors just have numbers. How am I going to be calling somebody that is in China? Because that's going to cost me a lot. If you want to put a vendor's list, actually put details. Don't send me WhatsApp numbers of vendors. Like, how am I going to communicate with this person? How am I going to see what they sell? And another thing is that most of the vendors, if not all, except the Alibaba ones and AliExpress, trust me, on that list, there are some AliExpress vendors as well. So most of the vendors on there, you cannot even see what the vendors are selling unless you've got a seller's permit. A seller's permit in America, and here in the UK, you just need your company's registration number. So you actually have to register, yeah, and most of them will go through a whole approval process, which takes maybe 2 days. So you have to wait for 2 days for this company to reply back to you and say, yes, your application has been approved, and before you can even see what they sell. And then you're like, oh, actually, this is not my style. This is not what I want to buy. So you had to wait for 2 days for you to then decide that, okay, this vendor on this vendor's list is not for you. Yeah, that's another thing that I was just like, okay, you have to register. So can you imagine registering like for about 20 vendors and then realizing that, oh, actually, these vendors are not, they don't sell things that I want to sell. So you just went through a whole process of sending them documents, scanning documents and sending to some of them, because some of them will ask you for documents, registration number, registration, you know, your company registration document. They'll ask you for all of that. In America, they'll ask you for your UK, for your seller's permit and for your seller's number and some other stuff that I do not understand that Americans do. But yeah, they will ask you for a lot of stuff for you to then come and realize that they're not actually the vendors that you're looking for. Yeah, I would just say for me it is a no. If you want to do your own stuff, if you want to open a business, make sure you do your own research and look for what is best for you. Look for vendors that are good for you. Do not buy any vendors list, in my opinion, because you're just wasting your time and anyone can just sit here. For example, I've been running my boutique for close to 2 months now. So I've come across a lot of vendors. I could just put a vendors list and just be selling, like, without even caring that people are gonna waste money, people are gonna spend money on this list. Bear in mind, I was just impulse back then. Like, I just wanted to do a business and I had a little cash on me, so I was just like, whatever. I did not even see these videos that are going around now. Back then I was just impulsed by reviews. Like, I was just impulsed by a girl that was sat on the floor and she had loads of orders on the floor. I was just like, boom, I want to do that. I want to be like that. But actually, no, I did not even use any of the vendors on the list. Like, you have all sorts of vendors on there, and some of them don't even have reviews. Like, if you don't have a review, it means that somebody did not even purchase from you. How can that be on the vendors list that people are selling? It is my opinion, but if you still want to buy, by all means, just do you know, do what works best for you. But I'm saying now, the vendors on there do not work for me, so I did not use them. So that was just money wasted. But if you want to go ahead, you know, just do it. And thank you so much for listening to me today. And please stay tuned for my next video. I love you guys. Mwah.